Welcome to Literally Books, the podcast. My name is Magda.
And I'm Lindsay.
And today we're going to be talking about our $25 challenge, which is pretty much we both are giving each other $25 to buy each other the books that we want each other to read.
This is a pre-tax amount. We had to make a final decision to exclude our tax because we both got a little overexcited.
We did. But before we talk more about that, what have you been reading?
Okay, I finished, on your recommendation, Margo's Got Money Troubles.
And what did you think?
I loved it. I could not put it down. I found it a little depressing. Magda's falling out of her chair again. I found it like, I know you hate depressing books. I was surprised you like this because I found it a bit depressing.
I think the story to me was so unique and it gave me more respect for the people that, are very dependent on OnlyFans and like the situations and the family type of things that kind of leads you down that path.
Mm-hmm.
I think I appreciate, and I think this kind of goes back to my main theme of what I don't like sad. I don't like sad books for the sake of being sad.
Yeah.
Like if you're teaching me something or I'm learning about something that I just haven't had too much in depth about, I think this is why that it makes a book more special. And to me, this book did that. Apple TV Plus is making the series for this.
Know.
And Nick Offerman is going to be the dad.
Who was a professional wrestler in the story. And then Nicole Kidman plays adult version of the main character, Margo. I was like, What is her name? Her name is Margo. That's literally in the title. Who plays? Oh, and then Elle Fanning is young Margo, right?
Elle Fanning is young Margo, which is, by the way, the narrator of the audiobook.
Yeah, the audiobook is what I did, and it was so freaking good. Mm-hmm. It's just such a good story about, like, decisions that you make when you're young and, like, that balance of being like, am I following my instincts or am I being reckless because I'm 19 years old? I just thought it was such a good story of that.
Exactly right. And when you're at that age, you think you know everything and then people are exaggerating when they're giving you some sort of advice or something. Yeah. And this is the epitome of that. Like it just kind of goes through all of those feelings that I went through when I was 18 and 19 and how easy it is to kind of, once you make a decision, you just go down a really weird, not the path that you were meant to be.
1,000%.
I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I cannot wait for the show.
I know. We're going to be talking about the show for sure.
So good.
And then two quick other things. I'm currently reading The Dream Hotel by Laila Lalami. I posted about this online. It's freaking me the fuck out. I might have to take a break from it for a second. It's a speculative fiction in which AI is used to determine people's likelihood of committing a crime. And based on that, they put them in these detention centers. And it's just terrifying and all too real. We work in tech. We know the way that AI is used and the way it's great and the ways that it's not great. So yeah, it's freaking me out. And then I'm still going through Babel by RF Kuang, which I'm loving more and more as I get through it. But can I tell you something that I discovered yesterday that is now my new favorite thing?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I guess I don't know if I have ADHD or whatever. I can't sit in silence while I'm reading. It just really bothers me. So I went to the Calm app and I found these soundscapes that they have of fictional areas. So like the one that I was listening to last night was Arrakis from Dune.
Oh my gosh.
And you can it'll play the sounds that you would hear on Arrakis, just like very quiet brown noise in the background. It's so freaking good. I was so into it.
I never thought about that because when I'm reading, I am reading in silence. I don't think I've ever considered that. And that's fascinating.
It'll really change. It'll make you feel like it does make the books feel super powerful because you're like, okay, there's like a rainstorm happening. Anyway, what are you reading?
I love that. So I do have the Babel book also still in audiobook. I haven't been fully captivated by it yet.
Okay. Audiobook would be so hard for this one. I still don't know how you're doing that.
I think it's because I think Yellowface was such a fast-paced book that this is the complete opposite of that. And it was just, I don't think I'm getting into it. But everybody's obsessed with this book. So I'm sure the payoff, it's great. I just haven't been fully into it just yet. What I did finish was Nightingale by Kristin. Oh my God. Lindsay, you have to read this book. This book, it is about two sisters that are going through World War II in France and just kind of seeing them go through the very beginning of like the occupation to like the end of the war and all of the decisions that they have to make and the character growth that you see in this story. It's incredible how in their own ways they're kind of putting, setting up a resistance to kind of try to fight the regime in very like little things that they don't even think that it's that much of a big deal, but it just makes such a big difference down like decades later. And it's just such a beautiful story. I sobbed. This is I can perfectly tell you that this is the book that I've cried the most with in my entire life.
Wow.
I was sobbing here in this couch. Like my husband came down and he was like asking me if I was okay. And it was sad. Again, it goes to the same thing. I was learning something.
You were moved.
I was moved.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful story. It's very different, not sad for the sake of being sad. And the character growth in here, the character growth. I just cannot emphasize this enough. You know, I really enjoyed The Women by Kristin Hanna.
Yeah.
This one, 10 times better. I love this book so much. I can't believe it took me so long. This is one that I really hope that you're going to really love because it is just absolutely incredible. I'm still thinking about it. I did it as an audiobook as well because I had to do like a little bit of a road trip this past week. So it was just like perfect timing and totally moved. Beautiful story.
Oh,
I
man.
cannot wait. And I think they are making somebody did buy the rights for it. So they might be making a series or a show about this. So I'm excited to see that too.
You're like the fifth person to tell me that this book is incredible.
And it's one of those, I'm like, oh, maybe it's just too overhyped. I don't know how I feel about again, because I did kind of know that it was a little bit of a sad story.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I don't know how I feel about it, but it was a book that I had downloaded already. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Because this is the last one that I had on my Audible app because I'm trying to make the full transition.
We're going to Libro, baby.
Libro.
Bye.
So this is like the last one that I had in there. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to try to get it over with so I can just be done with Audible. So, oh my God, it's so good.
You're making me want to read it. The Women I liked, but I didn't love. Like, it wasn't my favorite story, if I'm honest. But I think, like, her historical fiction stories are compelling. I just personally found that book to be paced pretty poorly. But
the ending to me in The Women, I think it was... I wanted to know more about her afterlife after she recovered.
Yeah.
Our main character in The Women. This one, the pacing, everything about it.
Okay.
Oh my God.
On board.
I think this might be my first true 5-star read.
Wow.
Like
5
of the year.
stars.
I'm still thinking about it. I'm probably going to revisit this rating because it's only been 5 days since I've read it. But I think I haven't rated anything 5 stars in this whole year. And I think this might be it.
And just like a quick note, because we post reviews twice a week, everyone.
Yes.
So go and check them out on Wednesdays and Sundays. But for a note for our rating system, a 3-star book in our minds is a solid book.
Yes.
It's a book that we enjoyed. It's a book that we are glad that we read. But it's just maybe not a book that we would pick up again or recommend to another reader. A 4-star book is a great book. Mm-hmm. A 5-star book is a life-changing book.
Yes.
I feel like sometimes people see 3 stars and they're like, oh, that's a bad review. A 3-star book is not a bad review.
It's good. It wasn't a waste of my time. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I'm just not going to read it again. And I might forget some of the plot points
Exactly.
later.
Right. It's like there are levels, just like television or something like that. There are going to be those shows that are like, that changed my life. And then there are going to be those shows that are like, yeah, I'm glad I sat down and watched it. I don't want to watch it again.
Exactly. So this might be... But here's where I struggle with my 5-star review. I don't know if I would read it again. I don't know if I would. Because again, I cried so much, but I'm still thinking about it. But ask me again. I think this is one that I'm going to have to revisit a few months from now and see how I'm feeling about it.
Here's what I think will be interesting. When you read it again, will you cry again?
I don't know, because I think I already know what was going to happen that triggered that crying.
Because then I feel like, is that good writing or is that just surprise? I don't know. I think it'll be interesting.
Okay, maybe. I'll have to revisit this one again, maybe next year. But oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. I'm still thinking. I just loved it so much. And I'm sorry for everyone that had recommended it to me and it took me so long to read it because it is a wonderful, beautiful story. Okay, and then on the opposite side of that, we did just finish reading Last Famous Words by Gillian McAllister. This is for our book club that we're going to be having later this week. It's a thriller about a mystery hostage situation. I thought it was okay. It was fine. I think because I have read Alias Emma before, I really like how that book is paced as far as like thrillers and mysteries, and it does kind of keep me in suspense. This one, I think it was a little too verbose, in my opinion, and it was giving a bunch of details that were not necessary to the story. I think it was just to kind of make the story a little bit long, or maybe like what you mentioned, we were talking offline, that just to kind of continue building the suspense. It was okay. If I'm recommending you a thriller, this is not going to be it.
Not even close.
Yeah.
I found the main character just annoying at every turn. The surprises weren't that surprising. the characters, I was like, okay, like I'm sorry, but I'm ready to move on from you. I don't.
Yeah, I wasn't invested in the personal life stories because it does talk quite a bit about their personal lives, and I just didn't. I could care less about their kids, their lives, their working.
This sounds so bad because I feel like we say this every week, but there's truly like, I am not saying that motherhood is not transformative. I'm not a mother, but I am capable of understanding that motherhood is transformative. What I get really fucking annoyed at is that mothers are insistent that non-parents couldn't possibly fathom the ways in which it changes you. And they will spend hours and hours, pages and pages telling you, I didn't know life before I had a child. And it's like, I'm sick of it. I'm sorry. Like, I do feel like life can be valuable without children. I also think as someone who has like doesn't have children, I can fathom the ways in which that would be transformative and like totally life-changing and amazing. And I get that.
I think that the motherhood story in The Last Famous Words did not contribute anything to the plot line.
No.
So, and I think that was my issue. That was my issue. I think there was just, it wasn't just that. It was also like some of the personal relationships that the detective had and all of those things. And I'm like, what is this giving me to make the plot move along? It was fine. I think it's like a nice procedure. It will be like a great episode in Law and Order. That's what that is.
Yeah.
They kind of cut a lot of this stuff.
20 minutes.
But yeah, that's it.
All right. Should we take a little break?
Yes. And we'll be right back. All right, so now we're going to get into our $25 challenge discussion. So for those of you at home, so what we did is we gave each other a limit of $25 and we went into our local half-price books and tried to find books that we haven't read and we're going to be buying them for each other. This was a tougher thing that I thought. And it also kind of taught me that I'm not as a... I don't find really good bargains because I was only able to get you 2 books. And I think you got me 3 of them. I was like, oh my gosh, where did I go because we were in the same store, but I was only able to get you 2. So I'm so sorry.
Rude.
You're such an overachiever. I could not. But mine is a I think you did get me hardcovers too. So I'm
deeply frugal though. This is like where I was like, I was meant to be on like what was that grocery games store, you know, where you're like having to get as much as you can for the most amount of money. Like that, I would have crushed at that. Anyway.
Yeah, you did amazing. I did not. So I'm sorry. I only got you 2. So I apologize beforehand. But I think I did kind of cheated. There was one book that I already had in mind that I knew I wanted to get you. The other one did come at me when I saw it. But there was one that I'm like, I need to get her this because she needs to read this book. So I can't wait to talk about that.
It's amazing too, like just a total side conversation. We went to Half Price Books because books are really freaking expensive right now. And $25. And like also we're trying to, I think both of us generally like consume a little less or like put a little less into the new consumables market. So we wanted to get used books. Books are freaking expensive. The fact that you can only get 2, like I remember a time when you go into Half Price and things were $3. I could have gotten you like 15 things, you know, it's crazy.
It's funny that you say that. So I think I've talked about that this is the year of Hermione because there's going to be 3 fan fictions that are going to be traditional published, and all of the 3 authors are doing special editions with Barnes & Nobles or Book a Millions, I think is what it's
Books
called.
a Million, yeah.
Books a Million, and they have like signed copies. I'm like, oh, that would be really cool if I can get 2 of these books. When I went to the checkout, it was $90 because it was $45 because they're a special edition, they're signed, hardcover, special edges. And I'm like, absolutely not. I'm not going to be spending $90 on 2 books. This is insane. So I backed away and I'm just going to think about it before I even get that.
I know. It's so tough because like I love the idea around special editions. I think we were just talking about how like this is such a female-centered point of our economy. And I like that. I think it's cool. But I also don't want it to be cost prohibitive to read a freaking book. So I think we're going a little crazy with some of these special editions that it's just a hardcover.
Well, and you know, a hardcover and a special, like a sprayed edge edition, I think they should be special. We shouldn't have to get absolutely all of them just because they look nice. I think we should make it special because if everybody's doing it, then what's so special about it? And I just kind of have to remind myself of that.
I also, it's like, this is just why I'm deeply trashy. I'm like, give me the cheapest, shittiest version. I want to see what that looks like. Like, I went and bought like 15 paperbacks last week from like the 80s of books that I really like. Cause I'm like, I don't know, there's something about like the cheap art, the like, I don't know, like very frail pages. I find that to be just a fun trophy. I don't feel like as stressed about making sure it's like a museum on a shelf. That's just not my vibe.
I do love a book that has like that yellowing brown
Yes!
paper. My Pride and Prejudice copy looks like that, and it's one of my treasures. I absolutely love that book because it's so old and it's just perfect.
There's something about it being loved that speaks to me a lot more. Like I have one special edition book that's hardcover, and I'm like, I don't know that I should have bought that. I don't really like care about this that much. Like, give me my shitty, worn, super, I don't know.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. Anyway, should we get into the books that we bought each other?
Let's do it. You want to get us started?
I'm going to go first.
Okay.
I'm so excited about this one. Okay. Book number 1, hardcover, is, sorry, I just hit the mic, Lady Chatterley's Lover.
It looks beautiful. I love it. Speaking of special editions.
Yeah, it has like some silver edges. It's really cute. This is a 1928 book by English author D.H. Lawrence, and it follows the romantic intrigues of Lady Chatterley, who begins an affair with her and her husband's gamekeeper, Oliver Mellors. Have you heard of this book?
I had never heard of this book.
Never
heard of it. I don't know what it is. I had never heard of it, and I'm excited to get to see the scandalous story.
Okay, I have to tell you, this is why I bought it, because it's the original scandalous romance book. It's like the original 50 Shades of Grey. Okay, it was published privately by D.H. Lawrence. He self-published 2,000 copies in England, the United States, and France in 1928. And then later that same year, the second edition was privately published, which had 200 copies. And then a bunch of pirated copies were made. Women were like going to like their little salons or like calling cards, meeting each other, and slipping this book to each other because it was so like titillating. It was like so... it was like unspoken lust. They were so into it. I just think it's like a fascinating backstory. It's 20th century manacled,
Mm-hmm. There's something about banned books or something that is like prohibited, and it just makes it even more enticing that you're just like, I need to know what all the fuss is about. So probably that just kind of led to the whole underground movement of people trying to read and see it, which kind of sucks for the author because probably the author wasn't getting the money of it, but just the word of mouth and the popularity of it is just potentially skyrocketed.
I don't think he was worried about money though, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute here. But like, yeah, it just tells you, we're talking about romance books. Women wanted female-centered romance stories. Lady Chatterley is the center of this story.
Love that.
And it's about her, like, basically her husband is paralyzed and they don't have any like sexual intimacy whatsoever. And so she like pursues this relationship because she's trying to like fulfill herself and fulfill her like emotional life. And so it's this really interesting conversation about female sexuality. And then there's one other thing that I think is fucking fascinating about it, which is that in 1959 in England, it spurred this big trial between Penguin Random House and this guy named Roy Jenkins, who introduced this new obscenity law, the Obscene Publications Act of 1959. So Penguin Random House publishes a copy of this book and then uses it to basically push back against this law that made it not able to be distributed because it uses the word fuck and cunt. And I'm sorry, we'll bleep those out or we'll give a little warning. It basically, the purpose of this law is made it possible for publishers to escape conviction if they could show that the work was of literary merit. And so Penguin Random House says this book is of literary merit, and they win.
I love it. Oh, I cannot wait. Are we giving each other like a timeline as to when we need to report back? No? Okay.
If you get really silent and then start going red, though, I'll know that you've started this book.
All right, I cannot wait. I can't believe I've never heard of this, and I'm so sad and uneducated. I didn't know.
Well, I mean, now you're educated. There you go. All it takes is 5 minutes on this very half-baked explanation that I've given you, and boom.
I love it.
Literary history. All right, what about you?
I love it.
What's my first present?
Okay, so the very first one that I got you is going to be Lady Tan's Circle of Women by Lisa C. The story, which immerses the reader in 15th century China, follows young Tan Zhujiang, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, born into an upper-class family. Her life is forever changed after her mother dies, and she's sent to live with her grandparents. She later becomes a doctor in particular for women's needs in later China. It is a beautiful women's fiction story. I think you'll enjoy it because it does have a lot of familial elements that you really love.
I do.
It talks about really great character growth. It is set in a timeline that we potentially tend to romanticize, but it really talks about what women had to go through, even for women that come from an elite family status, and all of the things that this person had to do in order to truly become a doctor and help other women around her, despite what social class they belong to. It was so beautiful. It just kind of talks about what it meant to be a woman and the things that were okay to put up with at the time, just to make sure that those around us were okay. I think you'll really enjoy it. And it's just, I'm really into women's fiction, in particular historical women's fiction.
You are.
And I think this is one that really touched my heart. I still think about it quite a bit. And I think you'll really like it and enjoy it.
You are an expert in this, between Kristin Hanna and this book. I trust your judgment in this area.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
It is quite beautiful. I read this one last year. It was also one of those that took me a little bit longer to read. The pace, it might be a little bit of I don't want to call it a slow burn, but it's just a beautiful story that I think if you just read like a few chapters at a time, it just kind of simmers and the payoff is just so worth it.
I'm
I
so
really loved it. I can't wait.
Okay.
And hopefully you like it. I'm so nervous, but it is really good.
It's going to be great.
This is the one that when I saw it, it was just like, I think she needs to read this. This is the one that I was not going into thinking about it. It was just where I'm like, I think she'll like it.
I can't wait.
Yeah. And you have read some really sad stories in your life, so I think this is going to be, I don't know, a comedy show.
I love a sad
compared
story.
to your sad stories.
As long as it's not
read.
A Little Life, I love a sad story.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. All right, what else you have?
Okay, book number 2, dun, 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 is Night Bitch by Rachel Yoder.
Okay,
so quick summary of this book. This is written in 2021 by Rachel Yoder, of which I just said. This book follows a new stay-at-home mother who begins to turn into a dog after slowly disconnecting from her identity pre-motherhood. This is the theme of today.
I saw the trailer for the movie with Amy Adams. I haven't watched the movie yet. I'm so glad I haven't watched it because now I'll get to read the book first and see what the fuss is about.
I also got a copy for myself. I want to read this together and then watch the movie and talk about it. Even if we don't do it for the show, I think it'll be so good. This author went to my college. She went to the University of Iowa. Shout out. That's like the only time I've ever shout out at my college. But
do you have a mascot or something? I don't know.
We do, but I was in the liberal arts, so like the mascot for me was like coffee and cigarettes, but I'm sure it was like some kind of bird or something. I don't know.
Wait, Lindsay, you were a smoker in college? I did not know this. Sorry, Mom.
Yes, actually in my college, because like there were 2 factions of my college. We're going to get way off the term of Night Bitch, but it'll give you like a real vibe for this author. So University of Iowa hosts the Iowa Writers Workshop, which is like very elite. Kaveh Akbar is teaching there right now. That's why I went there. And so there's 2 factions. It's also a Big Ten school. So there's like a bunch of football and things like that. And then you have these like hardcore liberal arts kids, which I was on that side. Obviously, I was too cool for school. And you could, which is illegal, go to this coffee shop and called the Tobacco Bowl, which is now long since closed, and buy single cigarettes for 25 cents. So it was like me and homeless people buying 25-cent cigarettes.
I just feel like I learned something about you. I knew that you were like a cool hipster,
I was a
liberal
hipster,
arts
1000,
student,
yeah.
But I didn't know that you were a smoker. Look at you, so cool. Were you one of those people that was holding like the cigarette with like your cup of coffee like in one hand?
1000.
Oh, so cool.
I think at one point I had a cigarette extender. It's honestly disgusting. When we were talking about deep cuts last week, it's why I was like, oh, I know this, like, you know, the king of carrot flowers. Like, yeah, I listened to that freaking music. I was a douchebag. I don't want to see that. It's terrible.
Oh, Lindsay, I don't think we would have been friends in college.
No.
This is why we met later in life, I think.
True.
It was meant to be later.
I've chilled out a little bit. I wouldn't even classify it. Well, no, I did smoke cigarettes. I wouldn't classify myself as a smoker, but I did.
Oh, look at you. Oh, man.
Anyway, Night Bitch. That is the environment under which Night Bitch is made. And I just think I think it's the most interesting way to talk about motherhood that I've seen in a really long time. This like primal nature of what it brings out for you. So I really want to read it together.
I think we should. Maybe we can do an episode on this, especially if we watch the movie. I think that would be kind of fun.
No pressure.
Yeah, maybe like a June episode or something.
Yeah,
I love it.
Okay, next one.
Okay, this next one is The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. This is the one that I had like in my mind that I needed to go find it, and I grabbed the last copy available in Half Price Books. And you know this, I was looking all over the store for this book. So I was like, I'm not leaving this store without this freaking book. And the reason for it, let me just give you a little bit of a synopsis about it. On a quiet street in Dublin, a lost bookshop is waiting to be found. For too long, Opaline, Martha, and Henry have been the side characters in their own lives. But when a vanishing bookshop casts its spell, these three unsuspecting strangers will discover that their own stories are every bit as extraordinary as the ones found in the pages of their beloved books. This synopsis doesn't do it justice. It has to do with multi-generational stories, like going back in time, and then how the storylines are going to intersect in the present time where the story is coming from. Deals with a lot of magical realism. It is a nice, cozy bookshop story, and it is just beautiful. I think you're absolutely going to love this book. I am very confident about this. And this is the one that I've been trying to get you to read for the longest time. And I'm like, I'm going to make her read this because it's just going to make you so happy, I think. It's just a warm hug of a book, and it's so beautiful. So many storylines that kind of intertwine with each other. And it just has a little bit of magical, cozy vibes that I think you're going to love.
I feel like there's something cosmic happening with the fact that you chose this book. Because I had our friend Erin also recommended this book to me. And then someone completely in a different context for a class that I'm taking right now also recommended this book to me. Like, the universe is telling me, and like it's kind of a witchy book, which you know I love. Mm-hmm. So many people recently have been like, this book is critical for you right now. I can't wait. I
think especially because I think I knew about kind of your class and your writing assignments that you're kind of going through. I'm like, this is the one that I think she needs to read.
Yeah.
And it's a story that has stayed with me, and I just still remember very vividly how it made me feel after I finished reading it. That to me, that is something that you cannot buy, or like not every book is going to give you that like afterglow effect. And this book gave me that. And I really hope that it does the same thing for you. And I hope you enjoy it.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. These are perfect choices.
I'm so excited. This is the one that, dang, Half Price Books, you really did bury this one. I had to go talk to the...
She was.
Oh my God. I went through every single stack trying to find it. And but finally,
I'm glad you found it.
Me too. I was going to be really sad if I didn't. All right. What else do you have?
Okay. Very last book. I don't know. I feel like I really took you tonally all over the place in my choices, and I'm sorry for that. I chose things that I thought would be a good balance between the two of us. The very last one is Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro.
I have heard awesome things about this book, and it's being made into a movie.
It is. So yes, let me give through you a quick summary of it, and then we'll talk about it. Okay. So quick summary is, this is written by a British writer, like I said, Kazuo Ishiguro, in 2021. It's a science fiction dystopian novel, and it's from the perspective of an android, or an AF, an artificial friend is what they call them in the book, who is purchased to be a companion for a young girl. In this society, companions are common and serve to socialize young children whose schooling is received almost entirely at home after they receive a genetic modification or lifting to enhance their intelligence. The book is from Clara's perspective as she's learning about her little girl companion and in their home and about society. So it is so interesting.
I can't wait. I'm really excited about this one. I know that this is one that since last year you have been telling me about this book that I think it was when we announced that the adaptation was coming, and you're like, you have to read this book. You have to read it.
It's Taika Waititi. It's Amy Adams Day, first of all. Like, we have...
Every day should be Amy Adams Day. Give her an Oscar. I'm always going to say that every time we mention. She doesn't have an Oscar. You know what's the messed up thing? You remember that movie Arrival, which was like the alien movie? She didn't even get nominated for that movie, and she was absolutely perfection
She's
in the role.
Every good movie that you can think about right now.
Oh my God, like it just makes me so
she's
annoyed.
A night bitch.
She's a night bitch. Yeah. I know. She was in the Hustlers movie. I forget what it was called. Yeah. But she's in everything. She's perfection. She's one of the greatest actors of our generation, and she's not getting the awards that she should be getting.
Can I tell you what's crazy about that too? Is she is someone, if you look at her, like I think of her from like Enchanted, which I love that movie. I love that movie.
So good.
She does give Disney princess vibes on the surface. And then she is so layered that she can play these characters like Sharp Objects when she's the main character in Sharp Objects. She plays these very dark, deep characters. And I know she's really close with Joaquin Phoenix in real life. Like they've acted together on The Master and a bunch of other things. And she said like she's kind of been in love with him for a long time. And I'm like, the fact that she's attracted to this man, there is something going on there. I love her. There's just something, I don't know. I want to be her friend.
Oh, girl, no, you have issues. Why do you like Joaquin Phoenix? I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I don't get that. I don't get it.
Okay, this is where we differ. I don't like you like too many good boys. I'm not interested in that at all. No. Anyway.
But I do love Amy Adams. I love her.
But yeah, she's going to be in it. Jenna Ortega plays the AF in the Taika Waititi movie. But this book, I love the style of this book. It's not flowery. It's very straightforward. It's very understated. There's like a low simmer where you're like, it's just straight observations for the most part. And then you're like, this seems strange. But she doesn't know it's strange because she's new to the world. So you feel this like lingering like, uh-oh, is this okay? Is this okay? Is this normal? Is this normal? It's so good.
I can't wait. I love like when things are kind of getting a little bit philosophical on things and it sounds like this is going to be it potentially. Yes. So I'm excited.
And the way that Mickey 7 did that, you know, where you're like, it's kind of funny, but like that's weird. Is that, it's so good.
That's why we love Mickey 7.
I know.
Go read it if you haven't. Go watch the movie. Another one. I'm sorry. This is just be turning into like a propaganda for whole bunch of movies and actors and everybody that we love.
This book won the Nobel Prize in literature.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah. It says so on this cover that I purchased I didn't go in thinking I was going to get this book, but this I did judge a book by its cover. It was a really cool cover.
It's a beautiful cover, honestly. You did a really good job. Like the covers that you bought, I mean, I do judge a book by its cover. Like
so do
all
I.
of it.
Come
we
on.
were just talking about that. Like we do judge it, and all of the books that you got are so gorgeous. And I feel bad. I didn't even like show the little books.
I came doing my little presentation.
I'm so sorry. Let me just show them. Okay, here's the Lost Bookshop.
Beautiful.
Which is
Love
a
it.
cute little cover.
Yeah.
This one is a hardcover, which is the Lisa C. Lady Tan Circle of Women.
It's beautiful.
Which is really beautiful.
Yeah.
I love this book so much. I was a little bit under $25, so I did get you a little bit of a bookmark. So there you go.
I was $24.97 before tax. I literally pushed it to
mine was
$0.03.
like $23.50. So I'm like, okay, I'll get her a bookmark.
That's very thoughtful.
But yeah, I think this is gonna be fun. Maybe in June we'll do a recap, or as we read them,
we'll give you updates.
We'll give you guys updates.
These were perfect choices. I'm so excited with what you got.
I'm so excited. I hope you like them.
I feel like this is something that more people should do. I feel like it's very insightful to see like it's a perfect balance between like what do you want me to read and then what do you think I would like.
Exactly. And it's also a very vulnerable thing because I am giving you some books that I love that I think would fit with what you would enjoy, which you just mentioned. But I'm like, what if she hates them? And like, oh my God, like you're going to put in
then
yourself.
We're not friends anymore. That's the end of this friendship. Thanks.
End of the podcast. That's it. Dissolve everything. But yeah, it's a very vulnerable thing to do because you want to make sure that they like it. And I think I've seen a lot of memes on this online where people are just like, when you recommend your friend like your 5-star read and they're just like, oh, it was okay. And you're just like, oh, okay, never mind. But I am a big believer that books come to you at the right time in your life. So even though I might find something that it was like an amazing read, other people might not enjoy it, but books come at you when you need it the most. So it is what it is.
I'm so excited. Thank you very much.
Me too. I can't wait. And we'll be giving you guys updates. Anything else we want to chat about?
No, this was a really fun day.
It was fun. I love chill days like this.
I know. We started off a little stressed, to be honest, today. I feel like we were not at our like emotional best. But you know what? This turned it around.
We did it. All right. Thank you for listening to Literally Books, the podcast.
Where we say what we read.
And we mean what we say. Bye.
Bye.